Hi and welcome to WVTV, New Zealand's most passionate wine programme, and today I have someone who everybody knows, and for those that don't, John Campbell went to Wellington College in...
about 1643, actually just after the Battle of Hastings, about 1070 I went to Wellington College.
And one of the things that I didn't realise about you when I was doing a bit of research on who you are, a share trader.
Yeah. So I went to university and studied English. And whilst at university, I worked my way through university, which in those days wasn't terribly hard because there were no student fees. And I worked part-time at a share trading firm. And it was this extraordinary period in history where Bob Jones came out at some stage at about the time I was finishing my degree and said, the problem with share broking and merchant banking in this country is they employ too many commerce graduates. And commerce graduates are too blinkered, and they have no kind of lateral vision, no imagination. They're good at it and we need to employ more humanities graduates. And the firm I was working for happened to have a humanities graduate working for them part-time, and thought, oh, well, there's one, we'll employ him. And I think it was that kind of simplistic. And so I worked as a trader on the floor at the Wellington, on the floor of the Wellington share market. Bob Jones was right, but only a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 100, he was right. He was sort of right to about 8.
Were you successful?
No, I was energetic and enthusiastic, but I didn't see what I had in vision and imagination and creativity and purple prose and all those kind of things, which I very much brought to the job. I didn't have a business background. And so I wasn't. I mean, I learned it. I was able to open a balance sheet and say, oh gosh, this company's struggling. Or boy, look at the PE ratio here. But it wasn't intuitive. It wasn't innate, which made me slow and cumbersome. And you can't be those things on the floor.
And did you want to be successful at it?
I don't do anything that I don't want to be successful at. I'm almost pathologically driven.
Well, some people kind of go into these jobs by default, really, and then they end up getting a bit of passion later. And
from the outset, I wanted to be the best, and I wasn't, which was.
Is that why you left?
Yeah, and also, Radio New Zealand. They used to. So, share brokers are often required to speak to the media about what's going on in the market and why, but they're notoriously reluctant to do so because certainly in the 80s and early 90s when I was part of it, there was a kind of very male environment, and men of a certain type don't express themselves. You're taciturn, and so Radio New Zealand happened upon me, who was the most kind of over the top share broker in the history, and Radio New Zealand phoned up and say, what's going on in the market? Well, I just free form. It was like James Joyce.
But you were given the license to do that.
Yeah, I was given the license. And one day this glorious man called Glyn Jones, Radio New Zealand's chief reporter, phoned up and said, "We're after a business reporter. Would you like to give it a go?" And I went in. I took 2 weeks annual leave from my share broking job, and I think everyone was collectively hoping that this was going to work out, including my share broking employees. And on my first day at Radio New Zealand, I felt such an extraordinary sense of vocation. It really was almost an epiphany. And I just thought, this is fantastic. And I did a report, I can't remember what about, but it was a little business report. Peter Virschfeld was the business editor, and he very kindly gave me an assignment. And I sat down in the corner and listened to it going to air on Midday Report, and felt this extraordinary sense of, I don't know, having discovered something. And then Radio New Zealand in those days used to do cadetship, so I did a 2-year cadetship, the police calls, the council, the Art City Council and all that kind of stuff. And then at the end of that I was a journalist. That was 1989, and it was, incredible luck. So much of my career is down to luck, but actually becoming a journalist in the first place was total and utter luck.
What was growing up, what did you want to do?
I don't know. I think I probably wanted to be...
Not like me, like a fireman or anything.
No, I probably want to be an All Black and maybe Ian McCulloch from Echo and the Bunnymen, and then the only punk rock All Black in the history of. And then probably when the Clean and the Chills came along, I wanted to be Martin Phillips or David Kilgour, and I studied English and I did honours at Vic, and I probably wanted to be a poet. Like Robert Lowell and Brian Turner, but I'm brutal in my assessment of myself, and so one of the things I understood was I wasn't a poet. I couldn't actually. So by the time share broking discovered me and I discovered share broking, I was a little piece of driftwood, completely lost on the ocean of possibilities. Sorry for that awful and then I.
And then you picked up a TV career in '98, was it?
91. I've been at TV3 since 1991. 18 years at TV3.
I started the news in '98.
Well, I became a newsreader in '98 with Carol. Well done, yeah. And then I did that for 7 years, and then our show for the past 4.5 years.
Yeah. And now we're going to taste some wine.
Good.
And the first one is going to be the Breaksea Sound Pinot Noir 2008
from
Central Otago.
Yeah.
And we stuck to 2006, and 2006 was beautiful.
Yeah, was it?
The 07 was very average.
How can there be such a difference from year to year? Same grape, same vine,
same site,
same winemaker.
Generally, yeah. But there is a winemaker's influence. There is a seasonal influence.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole season, whether you get good fruit set, good flowering, to the time that you harvest, whether you get any hail, frost, all has a major impact. And
wow. So this 06 was fantastic.
Yeah.
07 not so good.
Yeah. And 08. Well, you're just about to find out.
Okay. It's quite exciting. Oh, thanks, Jason. This is very exciting.
No, we haven't done this on Wine Vault TV before. This.
What, sniffed?
No, we've sniffed. We do a lot of sniffing.
Yeah.
There's so it's quite a fairly light.
Yeah, it's got a light nose. Really light nose.
Yeah, it's quite floral and aromatic on that nose. It's but it's fairly one-dimensional.
Jeez, one-dimensional. Bloody hell! Sorry, sorry, Breaksea Sound. I'm going to have a taste.
I get that classic Central Otago, bit of spice.
Yeah.
Bit of kind of almost pepperiness.
I quite like the pepper in that. Actually, there's quite a lot, isn't there?
Yeah. And then you get that kind of cherry fruit.
Yeah. Speaking personally, and there are some wonderful exceptions to this.
Yeah.
For me, Otago wines, Otago Pinots, are in some cases too fruity.
Yeah.
There's too much fruit for me.
Down in the Bannockburn where it gets really super hot, you get that overripe, jammy fruit character.
Yeah, you do, and it's I think probably the criticism that some people make of me it's just too much too fast.
Yeah.
I think probably can be made of some of these wines. I'm not sure. I mean,
it's very well balanced.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's not screaming at me. I quite like that.
But I don't get the savouriness. I get the spice character, but I don't get the savoury character.
Right.
In that wine at all.
So when you talk about savoury character, that's what I'd expect from a Martinborough wine, which is I always describe it as the kind of brown taste. So the leather, the barnyard.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But I get a lot of purity of fruit from Central Otago.
Yeah. Well, if you had $60 to spend on a Pinot and you raced into your own store and had to do it quickly, where would you go? If the cab was waiting outside, you'd go Martinborough, would you? Yes,
definitely.
So would I.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd probably go Marlborough second.
Yes, I'm here. I think that price-wise, I think that Martinborough actually offers better value for money.
Wow, does it? Because they're always criticised. Artaranga and Dry River are always criticised for being too expensive.
But they're the
you're right. They are
top end. You've got Dry River, which sits up there kind of $100.
Yeah.
Artaranga at $70.
Yeah.
But then you come down below those top two, and you're in the kind of $40.
Yeah, you are. So who's good at $40? Palliser?
Palliser, Voss.
Yeah.
Voss are great.
Fantastic.
Under the
Lovely
radar.
couple too, aren't they? Delightful.
And we tasted a 98 last Monday, and it was drinking superbly.
Wow, 11 years old.
Yeah. And that's always been the criticism of New Zealand Pinot, that it hasn't been able to age very well. And that really disproved that kind of theory, and for me it nailed it, and I said, oh, this is
they'd be proud of that.
Yeah. Oh, very, and they should be. It had still probably a couple of years left. Probably wouldn't go any further than that, but it was great.
One of their wines did really well in London, didn't it? And
very well, yeah. I think it was the 05.
Yeah, I think it was too. God, you know your shit, Jason. Jason, he doesn't know shit, he knows his wine. I apologise unreservedly for that phrase.
Oh no, I used to know my shit when I worked in a hospital.
Oh God, I bet you did.
Yeah.
Right, so what are you saying about that?
I would... Value for money, I think, is very good.
How much is it?
It's going to sit in the store about $20.
Oh, $20?
Yeah.
That's fantastic value for money. $20?
Yeah, most wine stores...
Is this their second label or something?
No, it's their first label, but there's been a